Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back from the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into some PvP with the two new PvP units in Alvaro Pizaro and San Juan Wolf. And these particular characters bring a whole different dimension to the game and honestly skyrocket DEX to possibly the best team in the game. More specifically, DEX Powerhouse with the addition of Blackbeard. So, I mean, you don't really call it a full DEX team, but it's majority DEX, but the idea of the characters are they are buffing Powerhouse units rather than buffing DEX. But the synergy that DEX has with Powerhouse works so exceptionally well, and obviously with Blackbeard just sort of coming in, destroying the entire meta, and just taking literally everything down, you can just throw him on the team and basically call it a day. Recently we had the level limit break of Pell as well, which makes DEX Powerhouse very, very strong. Plus, we have Lucario, who is an absolute monster as well. But with the addition of these two PvP units, San Juan Wolf being a PvP rare recruit and Pizaro being a PvP legend, you can build out a disgusting DEX Powerhousey kind of build. And as you can see, my bench is so ridiculously strong. My front line is so ridiculously strong. And the two new units are absolutely exceptional in the front lines as well, being 20 cost units, meaning that you can build out a very, very strong bench. Now, with Driven and Powerhouse, you could probably do some fun stuff with stuff like Kuzan. You could probably throw Cross Guild on the team. You could do stuff with Tesoro. You could even do stuff with Quick Kaido if you guys don't have Verse Kaido. But this is the team that I have been rocking as of right now, and it's been working very, very well. I do want to try some stuff with some more driven-y Powerhouse kind of builds, and we'll possibly put out some videos for that later. But like I said, with the addition of Blackbeard to the game, he's kind of just changed the way teams operate. And if you can throw a unit on a team that's not really buffing the team, but it's debuffing the enemies, you can do some really fun stuff as long as your team's actually buffing him. And that's why he works so well in the in-team. But now with obviously these two Blackbeard pirates, you can do some really, really cool things, buffing Blackbeard, getting a lot of debuffs off, and doing a lot of damage. And Kaido just hits so damn hard, man. He goes to the goddamn wazoo. He's a big damage dealer, and he's getting buffed literally by everyone because obviously he's a Powerhouse unit, so it works well. Moving over to some of the challenge fights now, we're going to start it off with S-Bear. One of the newer challenges, and honestly, a fairly challenging one, especially for Powerhouse characters, because they do have 6+1 allure. So I thought taking on this challenge would really showcase the power of this team, even though we are getting nerfed. But we are nerfing the enemy team a lot, obviously, with Blackbeard, but with also Alvaro Pizaro. Now, Pizaro is a Powerhouse Free Spirit character. Very strange that he's Free Spirit, to be honest. And if you have more Powerhouse / Free Spirit characters on the team, you actually get more of his passive. But he gives HP, he gives defense, and I believe he gives attack as well, level 6. And if you have 6 or more Powerhouse or Free Spirit characters on the team, which obviously we do, he's going to lower the enemy's attack and speed by level 6, which is very, very strong. His special is going to halve enemy's attack and defense, as well as do a bunch of nerfing as well. He can also do a bunch of buffs as well. I believe he raises attack, he special binds, and he does mischance. So he raises his own defense, he raises his own attack. Unfortunately, it's not the entire team's, but it's not the end of the world because just getting that extra buff for him works quite nicely. Putting him in the middle area is going to work out a little bit better than what you see here. Obviously, for the showcase, I like to have the image there, but sort of where Kaido is, having Kaido on the wing would probably be his best spot. And him coming in the first 25 seconds allows you to give a bunch of half stats off as long as the enemy can take that. He can special bind some of those big hitters like S-Hawk and Strength Luffy. And then he has the ability to apply a mischance, which can be very, very valuable, especially when Blackbeard is running around doing level 10 damage over time, when San Juan Wolf is hitting very hard and bolstering counter effects as well. The mischance to me is kind of just like, whatever, like it's kind of just like a nice little extra. Same with the special blind, it's not a 100% chance special blind, it's only an 80%, but more often than not, I do actually see it hit very frequently against those big boppers, as I mentioned, stuff like S-Hawk, stuff like Strength Luffy, and all those types of characters that can kind of just blow away your team. Pizaro can actually take care of fairly nicely. On top of that, he gives really good bulk. He obviously does some really nice nerfing. Level 6 speed down is actually ridiculously good. It allows your team to move a lot faster, even if your CDs aren't at the level that you want them to be. Remember, they were running 6+1 allure here, so they were nerfing our CDs quite drastically. Obviously, once you kill one allure, you get those CDs back, and we are using Blackbeard, so he's also nerfing the CD reduction, provided we have 6 Powerhouse characters on the team, which we definitely do. You can do some really fun stuff there, so As you can see, Pizaro's special is very powerful. He allows Pell to hit much harder. He allows Kaido to hit even harder than he already can. Plus, on the 25-second cooldown, he just goes so damn fast, and just seems to always have his special ready to go in the early stages of the fight, and you actually see it a little more frequently in the back end of the fight as well. Now, going up against S-Bear did take a little bit longer than usual, but as you can see, we didn't really have any issues with characters dying, and we didn't even really look like we were going to get scratched. Onto the slasher team now. This is where Pizaro really shines because he has the ability to halve stats. He has the ability to special bind, which is great because you can just stop those big hitters. But halve stats is still a very powerful mechanic, and when you have the ability to 100% apply that, provided you have the 6 Powerhouse and Free Spirit characters, it can be very, very strong. Obviously, you have stuff like Strength Luffy, who's immune to it. You have Verse Kaido and Verse Luffy, who are immune as well. Gear 5, for example, they're pretty much just immune characters. But when you do come up against some of these just like disgustingly strong characters, stuff like Whitebeard Roger, stuff like S-Hawk, you can just halve stats them, and then if you miss the halve stats on stuff like Strength Luffy, Pizaro has the ability to special bind. But Sanjuan Wolf is also another exceptional PvP unit. He does revolve around having 6 driven or powerhouse characters, very similar to what our Pizaro is doing. However, if you have the 6 powerhouse or driven characters, he just gets massive stats. He gives like level 10 defense, level 10 attack, level 5 defense, level 5 HP, and then he also applies a shield, I believe, on himself, which is ridiculous. Like, how much damage Pell's doing, man? Like, he's just slapping units, and that's thanks to the half stats, thanks to all that fun stuff. Just goes absolutely crazy, just wild damage numbers, like ridiculous. Like, this slasher team, it's not the meta slasher team, but obviously like S-Hawk and Whitebeard Roger on our team is something you need to be careful of. Plus they had 6+ Odin there too, so you do need to be mindful of that. So very, very nice stuff from Pell, but Sanjuan Wolf provides a lot for the team. That level 10 attack buff is ridiculously strong, plus he brings, and he brings a lot of bulk as well, which is great. He does a lot of damage himself, and his special is very strong. He has that counter mechanic, but he applies it to the entire team, provided you are running driven and powerhouse characters. And then he also provides provoke. So very reminiscent of stuff like S-Shark, stuff like Enmazoro, those types of characters. Sanjuan can just devour teams at the back end of a fight. On top of that, he's ridiculously bulky himself, plus he has that shield. So if you run him in that sort of middle slot where Pell is, which is probably the most ideal spot for him, he can just sort of soak up shots, just eat them with his shield, and then when he puts up that counter mechanic and has that extra bulk, like, nothing's really touching him, and he's doing just exceptional damage. On top of that, Blackbeard's rolling back special, so normal attacks a little bit more frequent. The damage over time from Blackbeard is chipping away at units, and now the counter is then chipping away at units. You can do some pretty fun stuff there. The special bind, as you can see, works exceptionally well on some of these big characters that you see a lot of. Stuff like Jack, King can also be special bound as well. Like, even with the damage reduction buffs, like, Pell's still hitting for 8,000 damage, and the combination of Pell and Blackbeard together, like, just gives you that level 3 CD buff, and then Blackbeard's nerfing the CD, so you have like a 5 diff, and it just works very, very nicely. Like, even like the defensive prowess that Sanjuan Wolf has to then do that much damage, it's ridiculous. Why did they think that just throwing all that into one unit was a good idea? So I wanted to take on the strength fight over in PKA, but I'm just sort of restricted for time. I was trying to farm it and to try and get it for you guys. Oh, actually, this would be good because we're about to get hit by Kid. This is like the closest thing you'll see to something like a Luffy shot. So a lot of damage, like a lot of damage. Obviously, going up against something like Luffy is still going to be this particular team's weakness. Strength should still have the edge over it because it is predominantly Dex, but Dex is just in a position now where Strength is not in a safe spot to take them down. Plus, if you lose characters in the front lines, we have Big Mom and Dofi on the bench. Like, having something like Big Mom, the Super Sugo Big Mom, and 6+ Doflamingo on the bench is just kind of wild, man. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. But let me know what you guys think of these new PvP units in the comment section below. While you're down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Night!